Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 1 of System Failure.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
Alright, so I'm going to get started with some comments from last week's video. Last week I asked you what you thought we could do to improve on our current education system. Here are some of the replies I got. Thingamabob writes, as for education, I vote for lower tuition. Stop fixing the problems that society keeps creating, but get it at the source and educate the people so not as many problems arise. Krista writes, you know what's wrong with school? Too expensive after high school. Not fair. And I would definitely agree with her. In my opinion, all education should be free, and I'll get into that later. Amon John K., a fellow YouTuber, writes, I think the school system doesn't focus enough time on developing viable human beings who are emotionally confident. Besides forcing a one-skill-set-fits-all attitude on all students, we should help develop their interests and help them learn how they learn, their strengths and weaknesses, etc. The classroom structure isn't a good one either. Teenagers' circadian rhythms are way off of regular school time. Man, there is just so much that should be done. Here are some of the issues that I see with the current education system. As you can probably guess, teaching is incredibly stressful, which leads it to having the highest dropout rate amongst all professions. In fact, 1/3 of all new teachers drop out after the first 3 years, and not 1/2 of new teachers drop out after the first 5 years. As anyone who is familiar with multiplication would know, 25 students times 4 classes a day is 100 students. Now, that's not just 100 students that you have to lecture every day, but also 100 students whose classwork, homework, and quizzes you have to mark, as well as report cards. Now, you can understand how teachers would be a little overburdened. First of all, let's start by bringing the education system into the 21st century by applying a little thing we like to call technology. If all students were supplied with laptop computers, it would not only make it easier for them to research and perform their school assignments, it would also reduce the amount of manual work required from the teachers, as many assignments and tests would be automatically created by the computers. Now, I know what you're thinking here. Where's the money going to come from to pay for all these laptops, right? Well, that's going to be covered in a later video about government spending. By setting up an educational computer network, it would make it possible for students to attend class at any time of the day. Now, this was a big help, especially for students who have difficulties getting up early in the morning to attend class. Another problem is that every student has to work at the pace of their class, and if they fall behind, they're left behind. In the traditional education system, students have to work at the pace of their class, and if they fall behind, they're left behind. With this new online integrated education system, students would be able to work at their own pace because most classes would be available online 24/7. Now, there would still be a need for physical schools, as it would be incredibly difficult to teach something like welding online. Another way that technology could help the education system would be by applying social networking. By utilizing things like Facebook, web conferencing, and message boards, it would be a lot easier for students to get assistance when they need it. Simply log in, ask a question, and get a response from whoever's available. Another benefit that technology would have for education is that it would make things possible that aren't currently available today. For instance, students would be able to study distant regions of the planet without actually having to travel anywhere. Also, for biology students, we'd be able to dissect a frog without actually having to kill any animals. The way I see it, we need to apply psychology to education and teach to a person's strengths, not their weaknesses. The Myers-Briggs personality type test is used commonly by businesses today in order to find the ideal position for their employees. Now, why can't we apply this kind of psychological testing towards education so we can determine what fields it would be best for students to study? We're teaching everyone the same things the same way and expecting the same results across the board, and that's just wrong. And now it's time for your question of the week. If you were the Prime Minister or President of your country, how would you spend your tax money? Well, that's it for this week. If you enjoyed the show, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, keep thinking. Peace.